So hypotenuse leg is called hypotenuse leg because angle, side, side makes a bad word that I'm not going to put down in the video in case your parents are looking over your shoulder. But angle, side, side, and then remember how I told you before that angle, side, side doesn't work every time, and it doesn't. However, if the angle is 90 degrees, then it can work. It's because when you have a right triangle and these two sides over here, the right triangle fits everything perfectly in place. And this right angle doesn't have any other options. There aren't any other ways to draw this triangle based on these two sides the same. Isn't it true that if you have two sides of a right triangle, you can find the third using the Pythagorean theorem? So if these two sides in a right triangle match these two sides in the right triangle, then you know the third side is going to match based on a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The thing that you have to make sure of is that the sides that you have here, one is a leg and the other is hypotenuse, which is fine because if you had the two legs, that would just be a side angle side, and we wouldn't be talking about the right triangle. It wouldn't matter. So the only time an angle side side works is if it's a right triangle, and because it's a right triangle, Pythagorean theorem works. Okay? So that's how these go. And in many cases, the proofs are much simpler, much shorter. All you have to do is once you know that once you know that you have an hypotenuse and a leg that match, and because you can verify that it's a right triangle, you can just use hypotenuse leg. So let's see if I can do, there's only one that I can really do. Let's see if we can do number 2, and then we'll be out because I think my phone is almost dead anyway. So let's talk to this triangle. It says triangle WVX and triangle YZX are right triangles. But it doesn't tell us what angle is the right angle. That's kind of a confusing thing to us. Well, let's see if we can figure some other stuff out. It tells us that WV is congruent to YZ. WV is congruent to YZ, so that's good. It tells us that X is the midpoint of WY. This is the midpoint of this. And that's all that it tells us. Well, which one of these, which one is the right angle? Which one is the hypotenuse? Which one is the leg? Well, you've got a couple of options. First of all, if this is the right angle, which it doesn't look like, then you can say side angle side, they're the same. Or it looks more likely that those two are the right angles. If these are the right angles, does that make this hypotenuse leg? Right angle, leg, hypotenuse. Yes, it does. Or maybe these are the right angles, which doesn't look like it. Again, if these are the right angles, then we still have a hypotenuse leg. I think the most reasonable way to look at this is that those are your right angles. And if that's the case, then we know that we are ready to go. So you can fill out the rest of the statements from there based on the way the notes have done it, and I think we will be all set. That completes the notes for this chapter. Use the homework well. Make sure you're uploading the last few assignments to the Google Class submission links, and email me often if you have any questions. See ya.